Welcome back to this show, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. This week is a fun week because we're going to talk about something pretty basic, but there's a lot of confusion around it. That's a good way to kind of think about this topic. Don't you think, sis?
Oh, I do. And I'll tell you something. The topic we're talking about is the different type of facial cleansers. And I have to say that you're like, oh, yeah, whatever. But I will tell you this much. I had an experience with using the wrong facial cleanser. My face, because I did something, my face was like tight and crinkly. I had to call Lindsey, and I called her at night, and I told her, I said, oh, my face is tight and crinkly. Help, help. And it was all because of a facial cleanser. So it's really, really important.
Yeah. And you can feel a little tight, but you don't want to feel like you're stripped. And
no, I felt stripped. It was awful.
Definitely don't want the word crinkly. Nobody wants crinkly skin. I don't think I've even heard of that word.
Because I am a very image person, a visual person, and it hurts so bad. But that's why we were talking about, we always want to bring topics that we have experience with or that clients experience and that makes a big difference. And the facial cleansers was a big deal to me. And there's so many different types. And that's what we want to talk to you today so that you can find the right one. But before we do that, I get asked a question all the time. And it's my reason for creating LaPree Beauty with Lindsey. I get asked all the time, why are you doing this podcast, Ashley? Why are you doing it for free? Why are you doing the free anti-aging community part? Why are you doing all this stuff?
Because it's a lot of work. And it's financially, it's expensive.
Yeah, we're funding it all of ourselves. I saved up money from working at the spa and we're funding it all of ourselves. And people are like, well, why are you doing all this stuff for free? What is it? And there is a big life-changing story for me as to why I do it. So let me explain. So after my first child was born, I developed a really bad case of melasma. And melasma is where you have dark splotches and it can be all over your face or one patch or whatever. Well, mine was really bad. I had these dark patches all over my face. And one part was really embarrassing because it was on my upper lip. So it looked like I had a dark mustache.
Also known as the pregnancy mask. People get that a lot.
Yes, it was a pregnancy mask. That's what it was also called. But here's the thing. When you're pregnant, or at least for me, I was like, all right, well, this is going to go away after I have the baby. And I felt in my mind overlooked it because they're more looking at my belly, and like, oh, the baby. But whenever my baby was was born, then I was just left with, my melasma face. And so I was already really insecure with my face then when someone had said to me, and I'd gone over to somebody's house and had a conversation, with their, adult son or whatever. And they said to me, oh my gosh, my, blah, 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 this person had never seen you before without makeup, and they just couldn't believe how different you looked, Ashley, and they were just really shocked.
That's what you want to hear after giving birth.
Yeah, and it was about my face, and was this rude? Completely, this was so rude. But was it the truth? Yeah, it was. And I have to say, I controlled my tears. I controlled myself, and I'm proud of that. But when I got home, I just cried. Actually, I bawled. I was so hurt, and I already didn't want to leave my house, but then I kind of thought, nobody's noticing it. It's just get over it. But now it was confirmed. Yeah, it is noticeable. And I didn't want to leave my house. I'm going to say that again. I didn't want to leave my house. I called up Lindsey, as y'all know, she's my sister, and she was so sweet. And she goes, no, Ashley, no, we are going to fix this. So she came over to my house the very next day, and she said, we're going to solve this. She did some at-home treatments on me, okay? And the reason why she did at-home treatments, y'all, I had a newborn at the house. I did not have time to go to the dermatologist. I didn't have time to go to the spa and get the professional treatments. I mean, that's all I had.
Well, not only the time, you physically couldn't. You had the baby. You were in recovery.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I couldn't leave my house. And let me tell you something. Within 1 week, I already looked 50% better. And then within 2 months, my skin was transformed. And Lindsey, by helping me with doing this at-home treatment that she did with me, it gave me my confidence back. Honestly, it gave me my life back because I felt good enough to leave the house. And that right there is why I have dedicated my life to LaPree Beauty and this podcast, because I can go back to that moment right now when Lindsey was changing my skin. I actually thought, and I said a prayer, I was like, thank you so much, God, that my sister is an esthetician, and thank you that she's a talented one. Because right then I thought, wow, I feel bad for all those other people out there that feel like I feel, and they have no one that they can go to help them with their skin. And that was 10 years ago. So because of that instance in my life and because what I went through, I began working at the spa with, Lindsey, because I was all of a sudden now it's like, oh my gosh, I want to learn all about the skin. And back then, because of that instance, we had the dream to help others at home. So I saved up all my money from working at the spa, and that's how I'm able to fund this podcast in our community. And I just really hope that we're helping you. And we're talking to you, but I would also love if you would let me know how we can further help you, because this is my way of helping. We're doing videos in Skin School, but I don't know, is there something out there that you're thinking, yeah, that's so great, we like that part, but if you could also do this, or maybe I like this, but maybe if you could do something else. We have an Ask Me Anything section in our community, our LaPree Beauty community. And if there's anything you want to see, anything you want to learn, I would love to hear from you, because that's why we're doing it. So I get asked all the time what LaPree means, and the LA is for Lindsey and Ashley, and it's French. It means beauty and strong warrior, and it also means lasting, present, and everyday beauty. So that is what LaPree means.
So I'm really excited to get into today, but yeah, that was a fun night, or not night, but that was a fun day. Just Ashley and I talking about, okay, what is the name of our community? And we really literally pieced it letter by letter together and they found the meaning and everything. It was just a really cool story. So it really means a lot for us to have it as LaPree Beauty. Now let's get into today's topic. Facial cleansers. As you know, I'm an esthetician and a spa owner of over a decade. So I definitely know not only like how important a cleanser is, but what it can do for your skin. It can soothe your face. It can help out, pull out extremities, purify it, or honestly, it could even just do the exact opposite and strip from your skin, your much needed oils, and actually damage your skin barrier. So it's your friend and your foe. So it's all how you use it. I've seen where over cleansing can actually cause more damage. So just be careful. Our lipids in our skin, they're there for your protection. They are there for a reason. We get annoyed with our oils, like, oh, my skin's so oily, whatever. But God gave us those oils to protect us. So embrace them, understand them, and they also help you age gracefully better. So I'm all for the oils. Just rub them in, Another thing is understanding the ingredients that you need in your cleanser. So all of our skin types are different, or even we just have different things happening in our skin. Our skin changes every day. Sometimes we want to just say, oh, I have this type of skin type. I kind of believe your skin changes all the time. Your skin type may be dry one day, oily the next, combination. Just do a little chemistry and figure out what your skin needs for that day. About.
Oh, I love that. I thought that once you've got your skin, you're dry. You're always dry. You're stuck with dry. The end.
No, I'm not going to classify myself and box myself in. I'm like, what is my skin feeling that day? Because
I love that, Lindsey.
I'm not putting myself in a skin box. My skin feels different every day. And there's sometimes I am dry, but sometimes I need a little help. Okay, so here's an example. Like if you're acneic, Or if you have just different things, more impurities than normal, you're going to want to cleanse with the salicylic acid, or you can put a benzoyl peroxide in it. I know that the other day I had a small breakout. So I thought, all right, I'm going to apply a benzoyl peroxide onto that area. Now just spot treated it. See, this is the key. I didn't put it all over my face. That would strip my skin too much. So you learn to spot treat the areas because it is strong. And I just let it set in, massaged it into my skin, then let it set in while I took the rest of my shower and then rinsed it off. I'm telling you what, my blemishes, this is not the case every time, but they're pretty much gone the next day. If not, I mean, they were definitely super, super reduced, but I just remember, I don't remember feeling them or really seeing them the next day. And that's what my skin needed that night. I also make sure after I use the benzoyl peroxide, because it is stripping. So I want to moisturize my skin, and I do put a moisturizer on it as well. Now, salicylic acid, I really like if you're acneic, or also if you have sebaceous filaments. There's those little black dots on your T-zone, your nose, 11s, around your cheeks and your chins. And a salicylic acid is great to have in a cleanser for handling those because you can really massage that into your skin. It's going into the pores and you're letting that acid clean out those pores instead of you basically pressing and mashing your face to death. So let that acid do the work. Now, if you are sensitive to these, because I get that a lot. Oh, I can't use that. I'm so sensitive. I usually recommend, listen, why don't we first do a lower strength? They come in different strengths. Get a lower strength. Also, again, you're going to want to just spot treat that area because I've noticed that a lot of people, when they say that, they're putting it all over their face and they're also not adding that hydration back to the skin. So of course, that's why they're red, itchy, sensitive, because the proper protocols for after using that have not been done. So we're going to definitely hydrate and moisturize that skin after that. Tip, if you do use the salicylic acid to get out the sebaceous filament, let the acid do the work. And then after they're loosened up a bit, just remove it with a skin scrubber. It pops them right out. It is a great little tip. I do that about 2 to 3 times a week because I have a lot of sebaceous filaments.
I'm sorry. I have to say this in combination with the skin scrubber has changed my life. It literally, I'm going to scream because I love it. I'm that passionate about it. I'm not even kidding. If you do this with the skin scrubber or you do it like Lindsey shows inside the community, she does it with a mask. I did the exact same thing that Lindsey did. I copied her to the T. I was bouncing off the walls. I told Lindsey, I go, oh my gosh, it looks like I just had a professional treatment. I couldn't believe it. I was stunned.
Because, when your skin is clear and those black filaments are gone, it just looks so clear.
It was gone, completely gone. I've never been able to do that at the house. And then I watched that video of yours and I bought the skin scrubber, the oscillator, and I used it with the mask I had at home, and it was incredible.
Yeah, you can even put a clay mask over that, and it just pops them out even further. So I'm glad you mentioned that because I do have this video already done for you inside our membership. It's super easy to access. Just head to lindseyholder.com and hit join. I mean, there's literally the word join like 1,000 times on the website. You are not going to miss that homepage, other pages, join page. I mean, it's all over there. You do not have to search for it. So just hit that join page, create your profile or skip creating your profile and it'll just add you as a member and then you get your instant access right away. Now, gel cleansers, I like too. That's the next type of cleanser. And those I really do love, especially as my second cleanse when I have a lot of makeup on or a lot of sunscreen, because sunscreen can really just feel like it stays on there. I usually don't use a gel cleanser if I don't have a lot of makeup on. So it just depends. If you do prefer a gel cleanser, then I recommend that you remove it with a microfiber cloth or, some type of antibacterial sponge. I actually recently purchased little mini microfiber cleansing rounds off Amazon. They're in our spa shop. You can head to lindseyholder.com to access our spa shop, or in the podcast show notes, you can see that too. I got little gray ones. They're super small and they're really easy to use. I love it. You just put your finger in the back. There's like a slit in the back. So then you can have control rubbing it on your skin. And I use you can either use a pair of one if you want to do like 2 at once, or I usually just do one. It's to cleanse, and they come in a pretty large pack, but you don't have to fold I also have a set of microfiber washcloths for larger things, but I'm telling you, the rounds are a game changer because I use so many a week, and then they're so small. You just toss them in with your towels and you don't have to fold them. You literally just, toss them back in the drawer, grab them before cleansing. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. I obviously just did a commercial for them, but
I have to say, Lindsey, you find the best accessories. I have a microfiber cloth, but here's what I've got: only 2. And so here's what I end up doing. I end up saving them because I'm like, oh man, if I use it now, then I'm not, because I don't, I've got to put it in the laundry basket. And I love that these.
Save those for your masks that take multiple areas to pull off. Do that. But you're cleansing every day and stuff. Get these little rounds. They are awesome. You can also use 4x4s, but this is environmentally friendly.
And it's in the shower. So I'm really excited. I'm sick.
It's in the shower, and this is so funny, but yeah, it's in the shower, and then you can just, rinse it off that day. If you do end up using I'm fine if you use them for that whole day, like the morning and night. I'm okay with that, but change them out at least every day. And how I dry them out is put them over one of the tops of my cleansers because it has that little slit in the back, and it just dries them out. It just like opens it up. So it's like perfect. So then at night it's ready.
Oh, you don't even toss them in the laundry basket. You just rinse them out and reuse them the next night.
I use one fresh one each day.
Okay.
But I use usually the same one for that entire day. I'm okay with that. Unless it's really like grimy or something. But in the morning, I actually don't really usually wash my face. And so if I have to, I'll use that same one, but it's fine. Now, I will say, I wanted to give you a tip. When you're doing your cleansing each day, take your time with your cleanser and use that as an opportunity to do your facial massage. Go ahead, let that be a part of your self-care that night. But the reason why you want to do that, you also need the cleanser. It needs to have ample time for that product to work. If you're just slapping it on, doing it real quick, whatever, you're not giving that product really enough time. Think about it. It's got to dissolve your makeup, sunscreen, go into those pores and dissolve and get those extra impurities that day. So give it a minute to work, and then go ahead, and it feels good. Do your facial massage moves. I have those inside our community too. You don't even have to think about it. Just watch me do my facial massage moves. Follow along. It's seriously easy peasy, and they're not hard to do. And you're waking up your skin muscles. You're waking up your skin. We're releasing those wrinkles. We're just relaxing the face. You're doing your lymph drainage. So you're pushing all those toxins out of your skin. It's really important. Once you're done with that, of course, rinse your product off with warm water. You don't really want to use too hot of water because that will strip your oils on your skin. And again, our oils are our friend on our skin, so we don't want to overstrip them. You do want to tighten up your skin, so yeah, you don't want to use too hot. But if you really want to tighten up and firm your skin, I will say use cold water, especially at the end. A great tip in the morning, if you really want to wake up your skin and it will wake you up, you just get a bowl of ice, cold water, dunk your head in it. You can also use a cold roller, but sometimes I do that and it wakes me up. But my skin feels so smooth, tight, refreshed, and it looks like I have like a mini facelift.
I love that.
Because it just wakes you up. It really does. Helps depuff as well. Now, cream cleansers or balms, it's hard. I like all of these categories. So I do have a selection of all of these in my shower because, again, my skin feels different each day. So I use a different product just based on how my skin is feeling that day. Cream cleansers and balms, just so you know the difference, they're going to be thicker than a gel cleanser. They contain oils and other ingredients that help moisturize your skin at the same time. Now, these are usually made without suds, so they're very, very gentle on your skin. They're nice because they have this creamy and like moisture-like consistency, which, you know, is very soothing to your skin. So if you have like really dry skin, then go ahead and get started on the balm cleanser. Leave it on your skin for like 20 minutes and you've just doubled it as a mask because it's so thick. Yeah, cream cleanser is obviously going to slide off your face a little bit, but a balm, that usually stays on. And then, of course, rinse that off.
I never thought about that, leaving it on there for a double it as a mask. That's so smart.
You can. It's going to super hydrate everything. Now, once you rinse that off, I definitely recommend to do a second cleanser, especially after a balm, because it's so thick to get that residue off. I'm pretty obsessed right now with the rose balm or the eucalyptus balm by Elemis. It's been really hard to get me away from that one. Like I've tried a couple others. I'm like, I keep going back to that one. They just have it down. They just have that formula down. Everything's down. That one I talk about in our fall episode, which is episode 71. So if you want to go back and listen to that one's a really good one. And we talk about all our fun fall favorites. But I did want to give you a rule of thumb with the gel and cream cleanser because I do go back and forth between both of them. But just ask yourself that day, like, how dirty is your skin that day? Because it's going to vary each day. Do you have lots of makeup on, sweat, sunscreen? Then you're going to use gel as a second cleanser. If you didn't wear makeup that day, you got dry skin sensitive, then you may only need a cream cleanser. So just ask yourself what's going on with your skin that day, and you can assess it that way. The next product we're talking about, well, I love this one too. It's a micellar wash. I love a micellar wash. I call this my lazy wash. This is my lazy wash, my lazy days. We all have those. I'll have clients that say, oh my gosh, there's sometimes, and I don't even want to admit this, but sometimes I don't even wash my face at night. And I'm like,
it's like it's like the dental hygienist with, are you flossing
it
your
is.
teeth, ma'am? And we're like, I did last night because I knew I had an appointment today.
I know I did right before this session. But first of all, I say, well, thank you for telling me that because I really appreciate it. And then I say, guess what? I have a cool trick for you to do on those nights when I know what they're talking about. They just don't want to deal with the water. Because they know it's just this whole process. They don't want to deal with the water. But I usually can convince them to do this. All right. Don't use the water then. Get a micellar wash on those super lazy days that you're just so exhausted. Get a 4x4 or some cotton rounds and use a micellar wash. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this cleanser because it's just fascinating to me. Now, commercially, it was invented quite recently, 1995. I feel like that's pretty recent for, a product to be sold worldwide. It dates back, and Bioderma, by the way, they created the first commercial micellar wash. So you see that brand everywhere. So now you know why it's so popular because as far as my research shows, that's where that comes from. Now, it originally dates back, the origin of it is 1913 is when micellar wash started. If you've ever actually wondered what micellar wash is, because you're like, what is this wash? Why, what's in here? It contains micelles, which basically are tiny clusters of molecules. So how it works is they bind to the oil, which then removes impurities, sunscreen, and makeup. It's awesome because it additionally hydrates the skin. So you're pulling off everything that you need from the day, but also hydrating the skin so you're not stripping it as well. I love a micellar wash. It's so refreshing. It's easy to use. And honestly, it's great for sensitive skin as well. You can easily cleanse your skin without washing or scrubbing the face. You just use your cotton round and just pull it off. It will take a few, but it's just really easy to use. So those really lazy days when you're thinking about not washing your face, this is your quick fix. You're going to grab this cotton rounds, You're not going to even have to turn on your faucet. You're just going to grab your micellar wash, and hands up, I'm guilty of doing this too. When even I am exhausted and I'm like, well, I'm just going to use micellar wash. When I travel, I also take a micellar wash because you can use it on the go without water, especially when I go hiking and things like that. You can just refresh on your skin. It feels so good. Take it to the beach or the pool and just wipe off your sunscreen, get all that sand and grit off. There are mini bottles that you can find, and then it's easy to pack with those little mini bottles. All the micellar wash that I like is in our spa shop. So you can head to our spa shop at lindseyholder.com and find the ones. You can also use a micellar wash as your first cleanse, and then you can do a double cleanse after that. So if you want to do a double cleanse after your micellar wash, go for it. The last one that we're going to talk about is an oil cleanser. Listen, I love the oil cleanser.
I'm excited to hear about this because this is something that you don't hear about a lot, because who cleanses with oils? So I'm excited for you to share this part.
Well, I feel like people are so nervous to use oil cleansers because they're worried about breakouts. I'll be honest, there's a hot debate on that. Some people are saying don't, some people are saying do. You know what I say? Try it out and see what works for you. That was my little skin rhyme. I don't know if that rhymed or not. But it really is the best way. So I was really nervous about using it. And do you know, even for the first few years as an esthetician, I was like, I'm staying away from those oils because my skin I thought it was going to just break it out so much. So even as an esthetician, it took me years to be comfortable and enjoy an oil cleanser. And now I really like them. They're great for sensitive skin. They gently draw out all the debris, your sebum, extra sebum, SPF, makeup, sunscreen, all the impurities. So even if you're acne prone, give it a try. They can be really great to use. I would suggest trying them. And if you start to experience a problem, then there's your answer, or try a different oil. I haven't had any of my clients tell me that they broke out when they buy one of my oil cleansers. I just haven't had that yet. And you can, of course, use them as your first cleanse. I don't use an oil cleanser just as the only cleanser. I will go back and either use a gel cleanser or cream cleanser as my second cleanse. For makeup removal, I do recommend to start it on dry skin, because you really want to break down the oils. Make sure to use that facial massage technique and do your lymph drainage, because it's so easy to slide your fingers with the oils on your skin. So use your take that opportunity to do your lymph drainage and your facial massage.
Well, that was so incredibly helpful, Lindsey. One of the reasons why I love the podcast is that I also always love learning an extra tip that I never knew about, because you're just so knowledgeable with all of your, hours that you spent inside the treatment room. So this was so valuable, and I really appreciate it. And if you guys want to see what are the things that Lindsey and I use, we have our La Pretty Beauty skincare store. It's at lindseyholder.com. That's lindseyholder.com. And you can click on the store, and we have the cleansers and all of our products broken down into categories. So that way it's easy for you to find it in our spa shop. Again, that's at lindseyholder.com. And don't go yet, because I want to ask you something. If you could please rate and review our Spa Skin and Beauty podcast. It takes less than a minute, and seriously, it would mean so much to us. And you're probably thinking, well, who cares? Why is this important? Well, the reason why is it will allow our podcast to be heard. And I'm not sure how you found us, but I am so glad you did. And if you're listening right now, I'm so thankful that you're here with us. And just by you going in and rating our Spa Skin and Beauty podcast, it'll make it easier for others to find us too, because you doing this makes a big impact on Lindsey and my life. So I just thank you so much. We're really appreciative of you.
Thank you, guys. Yes, we are so excited to have you and taking the time out of your busy day. I don't know what you're doing right now. Maybe driving down the road, maybe getting ready for work, or putting on your skincare and just taking care of yourself, I hope.
Or you're listening to us at a soccer game.
Yeah, maybe so. So whatever you're doing, we are so grateful to have you. And we are so excited about our next show next week. So make sure to tune in because it is a good one.